What's up, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about how to get more Google reviews for your small business. Stay tuned. This is going to be an awesome episode with amazing tips and real life examples from what I've done from a business sense. Before that, though, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Prince Donnell, the founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise, one of the fastest growing franchises of 2021, which I'm excited about. We're hitting the ground running. And I'm also excited about the fact that we're at 98,000 subscribers right now, about 2,000 away from hitting our goal of 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 family members. And I just want to give a huge shout out to the top 5 states that have been watching and consuming my content over these past few months since we've been dropping videos: California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Georgia. Shout out to y'all. Well, I think we got to do something special, and have some special episodes for those 5 states and for individuals that are watching that. I would love to be able to connect with y'all on a personal level, because of the support. It's so crazy. But with that, Google reviews are massively important. And as the founder of a franchise, I understand the importance of it because each of our locations, which are across 7 different states, they're sitting inside of communities right now where Google reviews are a big part of their reputation. Google reviews are a big part of SEO. And when people are searching for tax preparation or tax planning or life insurance, the better your Google reviews, the higher that Google is going to put you on their landing pages for people to find you, right? When customers are looking for a brand to do business with, they're searching Google reviews and they're reading through to see the good, the bad, the okay. They're looking at all of those things, right? So that's basically like your shiny new car that's sitting outside that everybody says, "Oh, beautiful car." Right? It creates attraction, your Google reviews. And then that attraction allows people to walk in the door. That's how you get paid. So Google reviews are important. And I got to be honest with you. I used to struggle with getting Google reviews. Our first tax office right here in Philadelphia, that's on Erie Avenue, in year 1, last year, we ended off with about 40 Google reviews, and we only had about a 2.8 to 3 star. I would say that our service was great, but the reviews and the things that people were rating wasn't matching. And if that's you right now, that's fine because you have the opportunity to change it every single day, but we have to be intentional in order to do it. And I'm excited to say that today, 1 year later, with us being intentional, with us earning our reviews and us improving our service, and through the tips that I'm going to be teaching y'all in this video, which I want you to watch this all the way through because I'm going to teach you these things, is that we're at 4.8 star, which is like 0.2 away from a 5 star. We're at 4.8 and over 400 reviews at one of our locations. And our goal now is to duplicate our system to each and every one of our franchise locations in every single state and city and local community that they're in, which is going to overall increase the value of our franchise and the customer base. And it can do the same thing for your small business as well within that local community through these tips that I'm going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right. Number 1, you got to get this into your mind right away. You don't deserve reviews. You earn reviews. I'll say that one more time. You don't deserve reviews. You earn reviews. I think my biggest problem when I first launched my business was that I thought that I deserved a review just because I performed a service for somebody. The audacity of me to think that a customer is required to leave a review. They're required to post my business on their social media and their Instagram and Facebook, and they're going to tag me and do all these things. The audacity of me to believe that, and the audacity of you, because you don't deserve that. You earn that. And earning it is not just from you doing the work. Earning it is not just from you doing the work at a high level. Earning it is through intentional plans that you're putting in place to get the customer to go out of their way to give you the review. And it's important to understand this. We have to think about the customer. The customer is going out of their way to leave you a review, even if it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's the extra time that they're giving to leave that review for you. So I need you to understand the importance of that. I know as small business owners, we say to ourselves, but yeah, I leave reviews. You only leave reviews because you understand the value of it as a small business owner. A consumer, on the other hand, does not understand the value of it because they don't have a small business, so they don't know. So we can't look at it from our lens and looking at it from the customer's lens. When I first realized that, it changed my entire philosophy around Google reviews, that I have to earn it. And now I was being intentional around my plans. So step number one, get this in your head. You don't deserve reviews. You have to earn reviews. Now let's move into number two, which talks about now how we're going to earn these. So number two, here's what I found is the first way to earn a review. Ask for the review from the customer before they leave your location. Now, I'm talking about service-based businesses right now. If you have an online business, the process looks a little different for you. But if I'm talking service businesses, then if you have a location or if you're going to somebody, you're performing a service for them, ask for the review before the experience ends. I found that to help that helped increase our reviews by 200 plus reviews just through doing that. Why? Because customers are busy. Customers are busy. If you try to ask for the review after they leave, they'll say they'll get to it at another time. They have a family. They have kids. They got to go to work. They got to go grocery shopping. They got to go pick the kids up from school. They got to take a bath. They got to go to the golf course. Man, people I've heard every reason why somebody can't leave a review, but I've never heard an excuse when they were sitting inside of our office and we were able to get the review while they were in a heightened state. Heightened meaning that they just got done a phenomenal service and they're like, yo, what do y'all need me to do? Because y'all just did me a great deal of service, right? That's the part where you want to get them, because not only will they leave the review, but then number two, they're going to be very honest about their experience too while they're with you right there on the spot. And that's what you want. You want the honesty, because the honesty is what the people are going to read that are interested in doing business with you. And they want to read that paragraph and say, oh, that was detailed. You also got to remember, too, customers forget about the experience when they leave. So if they forgot, they're only going to leave a small review at that, a sentence. But imagine now when you look at your reviews and their paragraphs. One of the things that I pride myself on is that at our location, our reviews are now paragraphs. Like, people took their time and actually wrote this out. That shows you that it's not fake. It shows you that they took their time, and it shows people on the outside, wow, they must do something really well if they got people to take that much time to leave a paragraph on a review. How were we able to do that? By doing it before the client left. Now, I'll give you guys a quick little strategy on what we do inside of our office, and then maybe you could try to implement that in your own. What we like to call, we basically do it at the time when we're printing out all of the client's documents. So like I told y'all, we have a tax franchise, financial services. So we print out a lot of documents, whether it's tax documents, insurance documents, or whatever. We do it at the end of that experience. So right before the client packs up, we have to print out their documents. We have to put them inside of a folder and hand it to the client so that they can leave. Printing out those documents can take a good 5 minutes. So during that 5 minutes while the documents are printing, we've now instructed our team members to sit down during that 5 minutes. Don't just be looking into space and waiting for the documents to print. No, this is the time. I'm sitting down with the client. Now I'm saying, okay, great. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, how was your experience so far while I'm waiting for the documents to be printed? Oh, the experience was great. I loved it. Awesome. You could do me you would do me a huge favor right now. If while we're waiting for the documents to be printed, while we're not doing anything, could you go to Google for me very quickly? And could you leave a review talking about your experience? And could you be honest and really give a detailed response? It's going to take about 5 minutes for your documents to print, so you have some time. Now I was able to create a gap, a window of time that the customer is able to do the review without having to go out of their way because they're already waiting. So for your small business, I need you to figure out how to create a gap in time. Remember, that's why we talk about you have to earn the review. You're going to have to go out of your way and create a gap in time in that experience with the customer. And when you figure out where that gap is, now that's where you're inserting that, hey, leave a review experience. Okay. So, creating your gap. And that's how we were able to increase our Google reviews by 200-300, right? You want to be able to ask for the review before they actually walk out of the door. That's going to save the customer time. and allow them to be able to do it right there on their spot while they remember. So let's move to number 3. So for number 3, I find this to be the most important one of them all, and that is to make it simple for the customer to leave a Google review. Listen to me. Customers don't got time to be going through loops and holes to try to leave a review on your page. They don't got that kind of time. Even if you performed a phenomenal service, I don't think nobody wants to be inconvenienced, and nobody wants to do anything that's hard or challenging. Naturally, that's just natural. And if we're talking about a consumer, they definitely don't want to do that. So if your experience is hard for them to have to get to your Google page to leave the review, and they got to type things in and go to their internet and do all it, man, you already done lost. Customers like, hey, I'm confused. And remember, we talked about the last point, having a gap in time. Our gap in time was 5 minutes for our documents to be printed, which means that it has to be 5 minutes. I got to get them straight to that Google review page so that they can leave that review within that 5-minute time frame, because I don't want to leave them here more than 5 minutes, because then they're going to be like, hey, what's the wait? I don't want to do that. So it needs to be quick. And a lot of times, and this has happened at our office originally, we didn't have a streamlined process on how to get people to our Google page. It wasn't clear enough. It wasn't easy enough, but we found a solution to that I'm going to be sharing with you now. So one of the things we do now at our tax offices are we actually have Google review QR codes, and they're stickers. And we put these stickers on each and every one of the desk where our financial professionals sit. And you could get these stickers from Amazon. I'll put it up here on the screen. This is the one right here. You can get this from Amazon. It's massively cheap. And what'll happen is you can connect your Google account to this QR. So now all you got to do now is say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, pull out your phone for me. Do you see that sticker right there on the desk? Yes. Put your phone over the sticker for me. Once they put their phone over the sticker, QR code pops up on their phone. It takes them straight to the Google review page. Boom. Process took less than 10 seconds for them to get to my Google review page to leave the review. That's how the experience needs to be. If not, again, you're going to lose opportunities. And we lost a ton of opportunities because our process was hard. Number one, we were letting them leave. And then number two, even if they were there, it was to loop hoops and holes. We can't do that. So the Google sticker is one of them. I encourage you to have that. And if you have a service-based business and you're the one that's actually going to people's locations or meeting them somewhere because you don't have your own set office where people are walking in, then maybe you could put the sticker on your phone, right? Put it on the back of your phone. So now you could just tell people, hey, just scan my back of my phone right here. Boom. And it takes them straight there. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that. And the sticker is one of them. The second option is a short code. So you should, instead of people having to go to Google and searching your name and doing all of that, maybe you could have a short code set up. And that short code, and it's going to lead me right into number 4 when we talk about technology, but your short code now is an easy way for people to just type it right in, go straight to the actual Google review page to leave the review. We don't want them to go to step 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want step 1 to be straight to your Google review page so that they can leave the review and get right out of there. We don't want to waste their time. We don't want to inconvenience the customer, because that now ruins the experience just because you were trying to get a review. The review should help to enhance the experience, not to take time away from the experience. So that's number 3. Make your Google review process simple. And number 4, which I'm rolling into now, is utilizing technology for your Google reviews so you can automate the process. That was something that we did wrong as well at our office. We didn't have an automated process because, again, everything that I'm talking about, getting the review from the customer before they leave, making the experience seamless for them to get straight to the page, those are great. But what if the customer does just say, hey, I don't want to do it right now. Can I do it later? There needs to be a backup plan to that. That's where your automation tools come in, where now at our office, we actually have a POS system, and our POS system is set up to where once the client is finished paying for the service, there's a link that shoots right out to their phone and their email with the short code that now allows them to click it to leave the Google review, right? So now the short code is sitting with them. You could do the same thing. I'm pretty sure that there are systems that you can find out there that'll automate that process for you, that you just put the customer's phone number in and it'll shoot them over the link to Google review. And if you can't afford to get a system like that, then you could do it manually as well. Hey, have the short code already saved in your phone. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'm going to be sending you over a text message with the short code to leave a Google review, and go ahead and click that link and it'll take you right in to leave the review. So you want to use your automations though, instead of manual, because manually doing that wastes time on your end. If it could be automated, man, it saves you a lot of time. It keeps it inside of the customer's inbox for them to go ahead and do it later on if they will. Now, again, there's probably like a 90% chance that they not going to leave that review after they left you. Odds are, I'm just telling you from experience, 90 to 95% chance, but you still leave a 5% open through having an automated experience set up. And number 5, which is one of my favorites, you want to create a memorable customer service initiative. A memorable customer service initiative. What do you mean by that, Don? Well, let's explain. You need to have something that makes your customer experience unique. As an example of that, if we were to take Chick-fil-A, everybody knows that before you leave, they say, "My pleasure." That's their unique experience that if you ever heard "my pleasure," you know that it links back to Chick-fil-A, even if another company were to use that same slogan. That's a unique initiative that they put in place. I'm not even sure if that was if that was planned and purposely done that way, but regardless, that's their slogan. Now, for me, with Jumping Jack Tax and the franchise, our initiative is every page, every time. So what does that mean? I created a plan where, and I saw the gap in the market where in tax preparation and in financial services that a lot of times when people were walking inside of these retail tax locations, they weren't going over the actual documents with the client. They weren't reviewing them with the client and educating the client on the process and on the experience. They weren't doing that. They were just like, "Hey, client, sign here. You're going to get your refund at this time or your taxes are complete." That's a horrible service. So I'm like, hey, you know what? We need to have an every page, every time initiative where every time a client sits down with one of our Jumping Jack Tax reps, when we're done printing out those documents, we go through every page of the document. We review each page. We explain it to the customer. We want them to walk away feeling smarter than when they came in. That is our entire initiative. If they don't walk away feeling smarter, we didn't do our job, right? We didn't do our job. And that's what I stress to every single one of our franchisees and to their staff. And through that initiative of every page, every time, if you look at our reviews now, which I've been tracking, people are saying certain keywords. They're saying, "Hey, Jumping Jack Tax, I'm going to become a lifetime customer because I feel educated and I can go back to my family and talk to them. Hey, I've never had a professional explain the process to me the way the Jumping Jack Tax representative did. Hey, Alicia did an extraordinary job. It felt like she was family to me." That wasn't by accident. Remember, you don't deserve reviews, you earn reviews. That was on purpose. That initiative was purpose because I wanted to tailor a customer experience to the Jumping Jack Tax brand, which resulted in more reviews and specific type of reviews based on how the experience was supposed to go. So same thing over here for you. You need to create an experience that's unique to you, something that you want to do that your competitors are not doing. And through doing that, customers are going to identify the difference between the two, and your reviews it's going to show for it. But not only are your reviews going to show for it, the customer also is going to become a fan of the brand, a lifetime member of that brand. And that in itself is so much more invaluable than a Google review. And I've seen that happen in real life with our brand, with Chick-fil-A. You do the same exact thing and create a tailored customer service experience, you're going to outpace your competition. You're going to get more reviews and you're going to show up on the Google feeds a lot quicker and a lot better than other companies. And lastly, as a bonus, I normally don't like to do this, but if you need additional push to get more reviews, then now that's where you start to throw in incentives. The reason why I don't necessarily like incentives is because, and I say this to each and every one of our franchisees, you should never have to incentivize somebody to leave a review if you're earning it the right way through all of the tips that I just explained earlier. I shouldn't have to incentivize them. If I have to incentivize, it means I'm not being intentional with the things that I just talked about earlier. But if you do need the push, that's where it's, hey, you leave a Google review, I give you a $5 gift card, $10 gift card. But the reason why I don't like it is because it's not as genuine as the customer feeling like they did it because they wanted to do it, not because they were incentivized to do it. So I would say leave that bonus in your back pocket on incentives, because I do hear a lot of people say, hey, you want more Google reviews? You know, tell people you'll give them something in exchange for it. That's cool. But to me, I'd rather be intentional in other areas that are free for the customer to really feel like, yo, I believe in this company. I believe in the brand. I believe in the person that helped me. And this is why I'm leaving that review. And I'm going to talk about the brand until I'm blue in the face, because I love it. Right. And I stand behind my review. You want your customers to stand behind that review. And a lot of times incentives don't give them the ability to stand behind the review. They were paid to do it. And that in itself, that's not a good look. And a lot of times it doesn't help. I'd rather take a year, 2 years, which I have done. I'm telling y'all from experience. I'd rather take a year to 2 years consistently building my reviews one by one, 5-star, 4-star at a time, and it being organic, people standing behind it, leaving more quality reviews, because in 2 years, I'm going to benefit so much more than it being a paid review where somebody didn't put as much effort into it. And it shows when people on the outside are reading it and they're like, hey, that doesn't really intrigue me. So with that, just to recap, and I'm going to have my phone up here. Just to recap, number one, you don't deserve reviews. You earn reviews. Get that into your head, and I promise you that's going to change the game right there for you. Number two, ask for reviews as soon as the service is complete. Remember, find that gap period, and when you're finishing up the actual service with the client during that gap period, that's where you should be asking for the review. Number three, make it simple for the customers to leave you a Google review. We talked about Google stickers, and we talked about having a short code, right? It needs to be simple. It needs to be fast. Number four, using technology to automate your Google reviews. We use a POS system across our entire franchise system, but you can find a system to utilize that automates that. And number five, have a tailored initiative that's specific to your brand and your company on what type of customer service experience that you do different than your competitors. Chick-fil-A is my pleasure. Ours at Jumping Jack Tax is every page, every time. And then you got to figure out what yours is. And then last but not least, incentivize if you have to. But again, like I told you all, beware, because it takes away from the genuine feel. And since our Google reviews have increased, our business has increased. The amount of leads that we get increased, the phone calls that we get, the organic traffic has increased. So we don't have to pay a lot of money in ads now in order to get customers, because Google is assisting us in getting more customers because they find us to be a valuable company that people in the community love. That's not something that can be taken away. When people love the brand and it shows, man, you're going to start getting organic traffic naturally, people calling you naturally, going to your website naturally, and that's what you want. It cuts down your costs. So take this next 2 years to really be intentional to earn your reviews, and I promise you, you're going to see your business change in the way that it's now getting customers and how they value the brand. With that being said, hope y'all appreciate this video. If you love it, please like, comment, and subscribe. That's your way of leaving a review here on this YouTube channel. And this is the way that YouTube gets this out to more people to watch this video, by you leaving a like, a comment, or you leaving a subscribe and a thoughtful comment at that on what you felt about this and what you plan to implement. It's going to truly help us out here at Club Content, here with my team. so we can continue to grow up our family and our subscriber base. With that, I'm Prince Donnell, founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise. This was a video on how to get more reviews for your small business. I hope that you implement this information immediately. See y'all next video. Peace.